Hey everybody, we're off to another restoration video series. At least this time it's not another S38. It is a Hallicrafters, and in fact I'm going to be doing two of them simultaneously. One's not going to require as much work as the other as far as cosmetics. A couple of years ago I picked up, I think it was on eBay, this S40B, and you're seeing the underside of the chassis on it. My son claimed it as his, and he's been after me for a little while to get it running so he can use it. So I also have another S40 from Arthur and his father, K1SVC, that he sent me, and so I want to get that one done and get it back to him. But since these are so similar as far as parts wise, I thought I'm going to go ahead and get this one done real quick. But while I was at it, you can see down here, here's a couple of larger resistors. They're actually two 24K resistors in parallel that comes out to 12K, and those are actually 10-watt resistors. And I know I probably don't have either a 12K 10-watt resistor or a 224s. So what I thought I'd do is I'll go ahead and recap this one, figure out, kind of test these and kind of get an idea what resistors I have in stock and what I don't. In fact, that might be those might be 5K resistors in parallel, because there's another one over here, and the only one in the parts list that calls for 10K is I think that's actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Actually, those are actually supposed to be 4-watt resistors, or add up to 4-watt resistors. So I'll go through and figure that out, and I thought I'd order them at the same time. That way I can save on some shipping. So this one, the case is in pretty good shape. I've got some knobs that we have to replace. The dials were in excellent condition, so that's good. We just got to clean the chassis up. He doesn't want to do a super detailed restoration. The face plate on it looks fine. You know, we're just wax it up, clean it up, and there's a few scratches on it, but whether wax those up and touch them up or just wax them up and leave them, because he just wants to use it, get to using it. So when we first grabbed it, this was, although it's fairly clean, it was all the oil and grease in that was hardened, and couldn't move it and everything. So we're just going to do a general cleanup on this, recap it, shotgun any resistors that need to be replaced, and hopefully put it back into service. So this will probably be the last video that you see this particular unit in. What I'm going to show you next is where we're going to start with on Arthur's S40. Okay, here's the S40. Cosmetically, it's not as in good shape as the one that I'm doing for Brad, or that we're going to bring back up Brad. It's not horrible though. I'm a little concerned about this gap here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do anything on that. I'm going to try to tighten that gap up there. The front of it looks the worse for wear. These are discolored. Obviously these are discolored, but they're there, and I was able to procure replacements from radio days for those. So those will be fairly easy. This looks worse than it is. You know, once we fix this and everything, you know, obviously we'll have to redo the labels again, which shouldn't be too difficult. The rest of the case, you know, it's just the paint is bad. Obviously, we're media blast this and powder coat it. Haven't gotten inside underneath it yet. I did pick up a replacement for this if we need it, or see what I can do. Looks like somebody repainted it and they got the paint got stuck in there. We'll see if we can straighten that out. Otherwise, we'll use the replacement one I got for it. Inside, there's a couple. You know, obviously it's very grungy. This is going to need the variable capacitor is going to need quite a bit of work. Looks like a tube adapter has been placed on there. This is not the original capacitor for it, and it's loose in there. I'll probably replace that hayseed. I can't remember what the last name of it. They've got some for the S40Bs. I'll check the values on that. If his is the correct values, or go ahead and just order a new one from them. It's a little bit more expensive than if I was going to recap, but the other thing that's a little worrisome, but hopefully will turn out okay, is that IF can or whatever is hanging there loose. We'll find out about that. Other than that, the case has got some surface rust on, or the chassis has got some surface rust on it. I'm hoping I can or be able to get in there and clean that off, and then I'm sure it'll be pitted a little bit, but if I can clean it off and shine it up, we'll just protect it from rusting further, and then that should be okay. It's got all the knobs on it, so it's really, I know Arthur's a little bit concerned about it, but it's really not going to be a whole lot more work than the S38 we did for him, that I can tell so far. Actually, to find that out for sure, we should probably take it out of the chassis. So I think that's just 5 screws, 6 screws. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll find out what we got underneath here. Hang on, or go hunt my screwdriver down and we'll do that. Alright, start a little disassembly here and see what we end up with. Feels like there's a little bit of a dent in here we'll have to try to remove. Some screws on the side here. Okay, your typical rust on the inside of it. Doesn't look too bad. There, set that up over here out of the way. Okay, let's find out what the bottom looks like. Alright. There's already been some recapping done on this. Which they've used the orange drops, so that's actually not so bad. So I'll go through and double check all the values and make sure those are okay. Obviously we'll check our resistors, try to get it cleaned up. It's got some, I don't know, growth or something on the wiring. That's amazing there. The way they tied that down really nice on that wiring. So if I can avoid tampering with that, I'm going to. So that really doesn't look all that bad, to be honest with you. If I can clean that wiring up and it's okay, this needs to be replaced here. Of course, that's probably part of that replacement there. Check these ceramics. I don't think there was any ceramics originally used. That's probably an electrolytic capacitor there too that needs to be replaced. You can see there's one new resistor that was put in there, so that's probably, chances are, pretty good. So, boy, there's not going to be a whole lot to, other than cleaning up underneath the chassis, there's not going to be a whole lot. I'd like to have a strain relief on there. I'll put one on. Probably replace the cord and put a strain relief on it. So, as long as those IF cans are okay, it's going to be more cleaning up the chassis and then as long as these all come out alright, I'm not going to replace those. It'll just be checking the resistors, checking the tubes, and looks like a nut just came off there, so I'll probably unsolder that, take that loose, and double check on the inside, make sure nothing's been messed up in there. So that's kind of good news. This is going to be, not sure what that is there. As long as the transformer is good, and the EF transformer is good, speaker looks good. The hardest part I'm probably going to have is these things that are held on there. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get that off to put the new one on. And since I got them from Radio Days, I got the new ones from Radio Days, I might drop them an email and see if they've got some suggestions on the best way to do that. But boy, that not sure what's going on here. Oh, okay. That's what they did. They substituted the rectifier. Have to find out if that's the correct substitution. Take that plate off, repaint that. I can't wait to get on this thing, get it cleaned up, see what it ends up looking like. So we'll go ahead and get the S40B recapped and back to Brad. Then I'll go ahead and take this front part off, hand it to Kristen, and have her remake whatever labels she needs to make. And then we're strip everything off the top of the chassis and clean it up, and then put everything back on. Shouldn't be really too hard to do that. This will be the hardest part probably. And check those tubes and figure that out and get that ordered. So I think that's going to be it for this time. So this is KB0ASQ signing off till next time.